Transform. Beautiful. Okay, I think that's better. Sorry about that, everybody. I think it is now in HD glory with all the P's that we could ever possibly want, but not maybe all the K's that we need. We're good on P's, but we could use some more K's. All right, well, I'm going to just say that that is good to go. We are live, and it is mostly the resolution we want to be at. Oh, well, hold on. Nope, we are good. We're live. Okay, so again, apologies for the new setup, bad audio, bad all this, but look, we've got all the weed here in a more convenient place, no having to go anywhere different. How fun is that? And speaking of the weed, let's get started. I'm going to click on our mini nail. We've got our volcano, got a review pen here, and we will do a bit of all of these on this joyous live stream here. We may even have some appearances from a dog or two. Who knows? Things can go crazy. Here in a living room, it's a whole new ballgame or something. All right, well, let's start off with our nice pen here. Thanks for being here. Happy Tuesday. Cool. All right, we've got our first pen hit. Let's do a volcano bag. Our favorite thing to do here. I think it's still on. Perfect. Egg, welcome, Egg. Thanks for being here, man. Thanks for hanging out on the Discord. Sorry, today is going to be more of the just weed stuff. As I have to order my new surge protector, I'm gonna miss it. It's my I have some extra surge protectors here, but I've got so many massive power bricks under my desk. It's a bad scene, and it can't really fit on anything other than a too fancy surge protector that now is in heaven. Anyways, Egg, Captain Fang, thanks for being here. We'll do this very first volcano bag for you today, my friend. Hopefully it doesn't sound too dreadful with these microphones. Nice. All right, one bag down. We're going to speed run a lot of this today because I won't be streaming long. I've got some plans this afternoon. So we're just going to be straight all business today. None of that ranting, none of that garbage. Just consuming of the weed and answering of the facts, giving of the facts, answering the questions. We got there. All right, and now we will do our first dab of the stream. Again, this is we're not wasting any time here. Merry Christmas to myself. Good stuff. little clean here. Cool beans. Excuse me. I'm trying not to cough my lungs out. No easy mute button this time. All right. Well, that is a lot of weed to start. All right, let's move on to some fun topics, some cool subjects. Let's talk some video games. We're not playing Splatoon right now, um, as much as I might want to be. And but that's not the only game that I'm not playing currently. Uh, I am actually playing a whole bunch of things at the moment. Uh, on PC, I am currently in the midst of Rogue Legacy 2, which I've played now a whole bunch of. Can recommend it super highly. It is an excellent rogue-like type game in that you, not that I have to explain the genre to anybody, but I have been enjoying it immensely. It's got all of its super addictive rogue-like hooks into me. Um, and every bit of it works really well. I actually think the combat's great, the traversal is really good, and if you are into that genre of games, this is just another super excellent one, Rogue Legacy 2, available on practically everything. I'm playing it on PC, but I think it just got a Switch release not too long ago. And I know some of our friends here were playing on there. Egg says that, oh, they're playing Egg and Nixie are playing Splatoon at the moment. Well, I wish I could join you guys playing the Splatoons, but I'm there in spirit. I should hopefully be back tomorrow. I'll figure something out, even if I don't have my fancy new surge protector. Dad, welcome, Dad. He says, "Hey, Weeks, love the sweater. How's things been lately?" Things have been going great, Dad. I assume they're going to get even better with you and maybe your uncle here soon enough. Thanks for hanging out with us, Dad. Uh, my dog is probably going to be a lot more noticeable because I don't have a noise cancellation. Maybe we can just see if she can join us and she won't be so annoying. Maybe. Well, come on. This isn't actually allowed, but it's a special occasion. I've actually always kind of dreamed of this, like doing a stream and having a dog close by. But they're not actually. This isn't actually happening. You know that, right? This is the oldest one. It's she's decrepit at this point. She's like, how old are you? 11, 12, something like that. God, you're a bitch. Anyways, we're doing weed here. You know that, right? What are you trying to say? What are you trying to talk to people about, huh? What? What? Okay. Jesus, girl. And you're embarrassing yourself now. And people, you're just embarrassing yourself. You know that, right? Yeah, look down. Look down. That's right. No, you know you're not supposed to be licking me. What are you doing? God, you're a bitch. Get away from me. Her name's Nick. Um, let's see. I think this. So I'm using my iPhone, by the way, to stream. Not that I'm streaming from my iPhone. I'm streaming from my Mac, but using the amazing thing called Continuity Camera, where you can use your fancy iPhone and your Mac in conjunction. And look at this. Bam, we live in the future. That's not using a gimbal or anything. That's just using panning and cropping and AI. Neat. But then you can't really see the weeds, so we don't do that. All right, what was I talking about? I got distracted by dogs. Pardon me. I'm embarrassed. All right. And because I'm on my Mac, I'm a little not so graceful with my navigatings here. Ded says that his uncle's gone on vacation, so we don't have to worry about him being weird. Well, Ded, that is so great to hear. I hope that sounds like a vacation not only for him, but for you as well, in a certain sense. And I'm so grateful that, when your uncle has left the state, you've still chosen to hang out with us. And Dad also asked, have you ever gotten so high or drunk as to have a bad or scary experience? Thankfully, no. I am never had a bad experience at all on any substance. I've had, times where I've done enough weed that I felt slightly more anxious, and maybe the first couple of times there was a little bit of paranoia, like, oh God, are the cops going to show up? Because I lived in East Tennessee when I was doing it, but never anything that was more than a reassuring thought from removing it from my head. I was just pretty lucky in that I don't get the anxiety or paranoia when it comes to weed. And then I don't drink enough, thankfully, to have ever been in a blackout, pass out, scary state. The most drinking I've ever done is enough to throw up, but I was back in college and only really once. So I'm super lucky in that regard. I know several people who can't really do any amount of weed without getting incredibly intensely paranoid, and then others that get fall somewhere on that spectrum. You know, they can't do more than just a tiny amount before they get overwhelmingly paranoid. And I am lucky that I do not have that particular hang up when it comes to weed. I feel bad for those who do because it's a rough experience. Dad says, "What's the hardest drug you've ever done?" Mine would be black tar heroin. Uh, I hate to disappoint you, Dad. I'm not that much of a drug user. I guess, and hardest would be a subjective term, um, but I haven't done anything too crazy. I've done acid a couple of times. I've done mushrooms a couple of times, and I have done. I guess the most intense thing I've ever done would be uh, actual in a clinical setting ketamine, and it was pretty cool. But nothing, nothing more intense than that, and I'm not sure I need to get any more intense than that. Kill Yourself says, "What up? Not too much. Kill Yourself." That's a fun name. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let's go ahead and do a second bag. We'll do it for our buddies Dead and Kill Yourself. Thanks for hanging out with us. Dead says speed is also enjoyable. Uh, and speed is a drug that many people enjoy quite legally. I actually don't know how different, like the speed of the 90s, when people think of speed, the actual drug, how different it is from either today's ADHD medications or today's crystal meth. I don't know where it falls on that spectrum. If it was more like the clinical substance, like with Adderall or Ritalin, or if it's more just straight amphetamines, like your crystal meths or whatever. Oh, Kill Yourself is Gonzo Baptist. Well, welcome, Gonzo. Good to see you again, man. Gonzo, God, I'm gonna feel bad if I got this wrong. Gonzo, you got a volcano recently, right? I'm hoping that was you who got one as well, Gonzo. If so, I'm so curious how you're enjoying it. Either way, thanks for being here. And this volcano bag for you. Dead asked if I've ever done MDMA. And I think so. Once, I can't remember if it was described to me as MDMA or ecstasy. I don't remember if it was pure MDMA or something with, MDMA and caffeine or whatever used to be in whatever people called ecstasy, which was more than just MDMA. I did it one time and I found it pretty enjoyable. It didn't, I've talked about this before on streams. I tend not to be hit super hard by psychedelic drugs or MDMA didn't really affect me as much as the other people I was doing it with, but I don't really, I've done acid and mushrooms a fair number of times. And it's, I always have the sort of least pronounced experience of any of the people I'm doing it with. I always have a very enjoyable time, but I don't get any kind of audio or visual hallucinations. I don't have anything that would ever be considered like a spiritual experience. Nothing like that. And I'm not 100% sure why that is, but it might also sort of color my opinions about certain kinds of drugs. Uh, Kill Yourself said they did get that volcano. Congratulations to you, Gonzo. And Gonzo says that putting her to work daily. She loves to work, Volcano. I mean, people say that about themselves and about people, but in the Volcano's case, she loves to work. She's like, a border collie. She's just bred to work. Volcanoes, that's what they do. They exist to just serve you day and night. And for years. Uh, Dead asking a truly never had anybody ask a question like this. He says, "What is your favorite childhood memory? And do I have any siblings? What is my favorite childhood memory?" Yikes. Um, Give me a second to consider, to think about it. And then, do I have any siblings? I do. I have two siblings. I am the middle child, and I am right in between them in ages, almost to the day. My brothers um, were born on the same exact day, 3 years apart. And I was born like 180 days in between them. So, yes, I have two brothers. But remind me, Dad, I owe you an answer on childhood memories. Kill Yourself says, mine seems to get dirty fast, perhaps because I keep the weed chambers on. You mean you keep your filling chamber on the top here? Or, and by dirty, I'm guessing you mean your little filling chamber as well. There, I just try to, Gonzo, I would, if I were you, I would maybe go ahead and make an order from like Stores and Bickle's website and get yourself some new bags and a extra filling chamber. It's good to have a couple of these because you can always just like soak one and use the other while the other one's cleaning. And you can get these little screens in here super cheaply from their website. And, instead of having to clean them super thoroughly, you can replace them, every couple of months or whatever as they get real gunked up. But uh, it couldn't hurt to have a bunch of extra accessories ready to go. I know from experience. All right, well, let's finish our second volcano bag here. Ed asks, has anyone ever told you that you look like Jesus Christ? Frequently, Dad. Frequently. As a matter of fact, I just yesterday, people saw I uploaded a review where I didn't have my beard because it was an old review. And there were people like saying, oh no, we Jesus has shaved. Oh God. I don't get it. I guess long hair and beard and brown hair, people equate that with Jesus. Um, and sort of ironically, maybe my whiteness as well. Uh, but I would look nothing like Jesus. I mean, I'd look. I'm not convinced he was ever a real human being. Uh, but if there was a person named Jesus to have been born somewhere uh, in Bethlehem, I'm thinking my Christmas carols now. Homeboy wouldn't look anything like me. He would look uh, very different. I don't think I'd have to spell it out. He'd also be more handsome. Uh, but I just realized this. I mean, by a couple of years at this point, but I've outlived Jesus. I beat him. I, uh, I kicked the Son of God's ass in the number of years lived on earth. Little dude couldn't even make it to 34. Chump. It's easy. I had no problem doing it. I don't understand. He's the Son of God or God himself, one of the two, or one of the three, I guess. Um, he couldn't even make it to 34 years old. What kind of God is that? If I can make it to 34, you bet you're the deity of your faith should be able to make it to 34. My main food group is M&Ms. Jesus worked out too. He's a carpenter. Jesus. Anyways, Kill Yourself says, but man, I also bought a Corsair pre-built PC, and that thing came with a busted graphics card. Oh no! Oh no! 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 I'm so sorry to hear this. Kill Yourself, and I'm looking forward to hearing what your resolution with this was. I know there's a lot of this going on, and trying to return a GPU right now is actually a very fraught thing. God, you're in a bad spot. Um, but I do remember Kill Yourself. In addition to that volcano, you got yourself a brand new PC with that 3080 because we both have. Well, what probably happened to your graphics card, Kill Yourself, is it followed your advice and said, "Hey, 3080, I'm garbage. I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna end it right now. I can't stand having my leading digit be this low. There's a 4 out there now, and here I am being a 3. No more. I'm done with this life." And it just it said, Gonzo, I'm forcing this upgrade on you. But it's uh, it's a rough time out there in the GPU market. How the fates have changed so completely in 18 months. I know actually it's so bad that no retailers are accepting any returns on GPUs right now, or I don't know if it's any of them, but the new 4080s and 4090s, like you can't actually return them if you bought them because they were purchased a bunch by scalpers right from the get-go, hoping to sell them for a nice, tidy profit. But nobody was interested in buying GPUs that cost more than like 2.5 PlayStation 5s. And nobody wanted to buy them for even more expensive on eBay. So scalpers had tons and tons of NVIDIA GPUs they couldn't sell, and stores were like, we're not taking them back either. and now everybody is trying to race to the bottom in terms of price for fancy graphics cards that just 18 months ago would have been worth, I mean, 5 times what they are now. It's crazy stuff. Will kill yourself. I'm so glad to hear that Corsair is taking care of you and doing right by you, and you're getting that new 3080. Hopefully, this one doesn't hate its life so much that it also, says no more. I can't live knowing there's a 4080 out there. Every day I sort of dread when my GPU makes that ultimate decision itself. Um, boy, it's a, I think NVIDIA really, really, truly miscalculated catastrophically with their plans for this new generation of graphics technology. They both thought that inflationary pressures and crypto mining would make a infinite tolerance for price on GPUs, which was true for a while in the beginning of the 3089, the 30 generation. But in that process of working on this new generation, crypto has, of course, fallen off of a much deserved cliff, and people's are so much more price sensitive to things now. Now that inflationary pressures have hit in every other aspect of their life, and the idea of paying again, what is the MSRP on a 4080? It's like $1,200. You could buy 2.5 PlayStation 5s almost for that. The cost just for a graphics card. I think they are in for a world of much deserved hurt right now, and it's all of their making. We got Eric in the house. Eric, thanks for being here, man. And just to explain the setup, my um, surge protector exploded this morning, and which, if you're gonna be I was at my PC doing some stuff, and all of a sudden it just went, and everything in front of me just turned off. Uh, the lights were still on in the room, so it wasn't like the power had gone out, and I was like, oh shit. There's only a handful of reasons why this could happen, and not many of them are going to have an outcome that isn't going to be very painful. And of all those possible outcomes, many of them could be really bad. My fancy surge protector just shat the bed, and that was it. And so, unfortunately, I don't have power to a lot of things, but I do have my Mac in a living room and an iPhone with continuity camera. I moved some weed stuff around. We got a dog. It's all good. She's hiding behind the volcano. It's all good. All right. Let's get ourselves a second small little dab here for our new friends in chat. Eric, thanks for being here. Appreciate it, and we'll get ourselves a. You can go down, girl. Look here. Come on. All right. Get ourselves a second small little dab. And Gonzo, sorry for your troubles. Gonzo, I can totally sympathize with you, man. My PC that I have now, maybe 2 months after owning it, the motherboard, I think, fried on it. And I had to send basically the whole. I also was a schmuck and purchased a pre-built, not from Corsair, but from a different kind of route, but had to basically send the whole thing in too. And it's not fun, and it's nerve-wracking, and it sucks, man. But it looks like if only you got a discount code, at the very least, they're not screwing you. All right, well, let's get this dab in here. Excuse me, guys. Uh, Eric says, I actively root against crypto and Tesla. Um, how could you not? Uh, the crypto one feels like, well, that was obviously always going to be the case. I can't. It's going to, 20 years from now, the looking back on this period, just as a looking at it under purely economic terms, is going to be so mind-bogglingly. I mean, it's going to be dissected and studied, and what all happened here with crypto. Uh, it is. I mean, it is going to be up there with the financial stories you'll cover, along with the tulip market crash, the Great Depression, the United States in the 1940s, post World War II, as things that are just like unique, singular, but unexplainable, um, only could have existed at that moment in time. It's bizarre. Now, that being said, I would not absolutely not be surprised to see um, some cryptocurrencies still existing 20 years from now, still uh, largely as worthless as they are now, or useless as they are now, but still, for whatever reason, purchased, bought, and sold as asset classes with the vague promise that it will do something in some far flung future again. But that's neither here nor there. Tesla, however, that one does hurt to actively root against, not because, Elon Musk isn't a piece of shit, but it is still the, no, I was going to say the largest electric automaker, but I don't know if that's actually true. Like, how many is Ford producing more electric vehicles a year than Tesla at this point? They might be. I honestly don't know. Um, but it, in principle, it kind of feels bad to root against an electric automaker, especially one as foundational to that idea as Tesla. But there are many other EV makers out there that can supplant them at this point, and not all of them are um, financial time bombs like Tesla is. When something is worth as much as Tesla is, it is a anchor on the U.S. stock market as a whole, market like economy writ large. I don't think we understand just how much as a world we are really actually um, under the thumb of Elon Musk in some ways. I mean, our federal government contracts with him not only as a maker of electric vehicles and um, solar panels and batteries, but of course also primarily and maybe most importantly as SpaceX. And that is a very bad thing. I mean, not even fucking JD Rockefeller or nor Carnegie or nor I mean any of the robber barons ever had quite as much singular influence on the future direction that the world may go than Elon Musk does right now. And it's a hard thing to take. It's an easy thing to take for granted, unfortunately. Oof. Um, but let's move away from those super controversial topics, at least for the moment. And Dead, thanks for hanging out with us. Good to see you. I'm so glad your uncle's on vacation. I hope to catch you again in the near future, my friend. Thanks for being here. Eric says, I'm for electric cars. I'm pro climate. I just loathe St. Elon of Muscovia. Don't we all? I mean, all right thinking people. It's not to just wade deeper and deeper into it, but the forces at play radicalize, making Elon Musk a seemingly continually worse person by the day. Um, I don't, those just seem to be unstoppable to me. Like, the more you and I hate Elon Musk, the more as a schismogenesis type process, we define ourselves in the opposite of the other, and that is how we will build. Um, it just makes the more we hate him, it makes the others love him that much more, if only for no reason, other reason than simply he is an object of hate of one person. And Elon Musk is a obvious narcissist, and he is going to continue to pander to those people who love him, and they love him only because of how much we hate him, and they love him all the more he gets dunked on and torn to pieces for saying stupid shit by right thinking people everywhere. That just makes him more of a hero to a certain subsect of people. And that's, at this point, the only people's opinion he cares about. It's obvious he, isn't listening to anybody else. And that is a process for some very, very, I don't know, dangerous things. Exodus, thanks for being here. What's good, my friend? Let's go our third volcano bag here while we're waiting. Not waiting for anything, just hanging out. Oh, Egg, thank you for posting your Splatoon 3 score in Discord. Always love to see great Splatoon games. And that does remind me, if you guys haven't before, please, if you're interested, I did start a Discord. There is exclusive content. Kids love their exclusive content. It's there. I've got legitimate stuff you can only find on Discord. And I'm going to post a link here in chat if anybody is interested in joining. For example, today, guys, I took a picture of a broken surge protector and posted it on Discord. You won't see that on YouTube. You won't find that on Twitter. But you'll see such quality content only on Discord. Smokin', welcome, Smokin' says, how is the flavor on the bag? It's great. This is, I can't remember what strain this is. Something I picked up on Black Friday. It's an indica for sure. And it's great. Smokin', thanks for hanging out with us. This bag's for you. Eric says he used to do ethanol extractions on his volcano bags. Like you would use the concentrates with the drip plates, Eric, which I still have never done, although it is not that difficult to do. I think I even have the hardware. I just get paranoid when it comes to concentrates. If you mess up there, it's the mess can be profound and ruinsome. And I've been known to mess some things up. I don't think I got a chance to talk about it when I was Splatooning. I meant to. weekend on Saturday, I saw, I think what I would, I think it's the second best movie I've seen this year, and certainly the best documentary I've seen. Um, Maybe I did talk about it. Uh-oh. Uh, a truly astounding, you can't, one of these pieces of documentary filmmaking, you're like, how has this story not been told before? How have I never heard about any of this? And then it keeps being layered in with these both moments that are revelatory in terms of like, holy shit, well, this explains a lot, or this is a satisfying resolution, but also things that are profoundly like emotionally resonant. There is this thing that happens in the denouement of this movie that is so um, I guess you would describe it as profound, emotionally profound, wonderful movie. It's called Second Chance. I think I didn't mention the title again. Second Chance is a documentary. It is the title and also the name of a company. That company was the first company in the world to produce body armor for military and police, so like bulletproof vests. And it is the story of the guy who founded that company, is still alive today, and the more about him than the actual product. And it is kind of like a catfish or a tickled, if you've ever seen either of those documentaries, in terms of just like you will be sort of surprised at the direction that this thing goes. Um, and I think it comes out on Showtime sometime at the end of the month, and you got to keep an eye out for it. Second Chance, super good. Uh, Kill Yourself says, "How can I be your number one fan and not know you have a Discord?" Well, Kill Yourself, you can still be both. It's only because it is relatively new. It's only existed since Friday. I haven't been pushing it as hard as I should, but I'd love for you to join and help it become something other than what it is right now, which is not much. Eric says, "I pour Everclear into the bag, shake it, and then use the distill it using a device called the Turbo 2, and uses the end product in edibles." I have done an Everclear tincture before, meaning I've taken a bunch of weed, put it in a big bottle of Everclear, and left it in a place, nice, cool, dry place with no sunlight for a month to produce some tincture. And I hate to say it was a colossal waste. It probably worked. I mean, it's about as easy a way to make tincture as can be. It's practically foolproof if you use high grain alcohol and weed, and just it will eventually the THC will, you know, um, through oh my god, too high for chemistry right now. But I did the whole process, got it done, and there was a 0% chance. I mean, 0% chance I could have done the tincture without more or less instantaneously barfing. The smell when opening it, I mean, it's only the smell of pure grain alcohol still and some cannabis, but man, even I don't really drink much at all anymore, practically none. But even when I was like in college, I wasn't very good at it, and never got to the point where I enjoyed the taste of alcohol by any measure. It was always like hold your nose and hit it back, and holy shit, I just like when trying to strain this stuff out, almost retched 3 or 4 times. It was like, well, the idea of leaving this under my tongue, uh, the thought of it would make me dry heat even now. Uh, so that was, thankfully, it was the cheapest grain alcohol one can purchase and the cheapest ounce of weed I think I'd ever accrued, which was less than $50 or something. But it was still a sad day. Um, Diffusion. Thank you, Eric. Oh my God. Thank you very much. It's one of those days. Um, Speaking of, let's finish our bag here. Yes, alcohol, the world's greatest solvent. I did a bunch of glass cleaning over the weekend. I've got my 99% isopropyl alcohol, which I happened to order a massive crate, like 24 bottles, 16-ounce bottles of 99 proof isopropyl alcohol in February of 2020, which the timing of that was kind of insane. The cost difference from what I purchased in February to what that same, I don't think you could have even purchased in that quantity at that point. I don't think they let you, but I think, I paid like $35 for 24 bottles. And I remember at some points seeing, 90 proof isopropyl alcohol being 32-ounce bottle for like $12. Um, it wasn't foresight. I just happened to need a bunch of alcohol. And then there was a pandemic. I wasn't lucky on the Lysol wipes, though. Didn't have a reason to order a lifetime supply of those beforehand. All that being said, my alcohol supply did just run out after almost 3 years, and I had to order some more. And it was cheap again. But if you needed it there for a while, it was a bad scene. All right, let's grab our fourth bag here. And we're having a speed round it as well, guys. It's going to be a short live stream, unfortunately, as well. We can get some quality content in here. I want to talk more video games. That's right. I haven't been playing just Splatoon. I've still been playing a little bit of the new Pokemon. There's some stuff to talk about there. First and foremost, I heard a couple of amazing factoids. One, this is not a little. I mean, this is just everywhere, and doesn't make it any less mind-boggling. But it is the fastest selling Nintendo Pokemon game, Nintendo game, and very likely, video game in history. It sold 10 million copies in 3 days. Now, there's some weirdness because some people buy it twice because of the weird, Nintendo's double SKU thing. Regardless, that's utter insanity. The game's this year's previous high water seller was like Elden Ring selling 11 million in a month. No doubt Pokemon will get there, um, in another day. But yeah, they're so fastest selling anything Nintendo, Pokemon, probably video game in a 3 day period. 10 million copies sold. Just insanity. This is something that I just heard today that I had never heard expressed this way before, and is so. I mean, Nintendo has figured out something that the rest of us could any other company, corporation in history could only ever dream to aspire to. Nintendo is Pokemon is a franchise that is now what, 25 years old, I guess, I think. And every mainline Pokemon game that has come out in the 25 years since it has um, existed, every single one of the mainline Pokemon games has sold more than the prior one. They have never had a game that was less successful than the previous one before it. So the first iteration, red, blue, yellow, sold less than gold and silver, which sold less than ruby, sapphire, which sold less than white, diamond, pearl. At that point, I don't know the names of them. But there's just no other property that could have that sort of claim to unending, not just success, but like um, an escalation of like each time they are pulling more people in. It's like what happens is they keep selling to the same people every time and then bring in a couple more million every time. It's like the same people who bought it in 97 are buying it today, but they've now added the people that no, bought it for the first time in 19 or the Diamond and Pearl, and now they're also buying each new one. And it's just like nothing is no franchise, no single property is quite so multi-generational. Now there are whole generations of people that have played Pokemon from childhood to adulthood, and many of them continue to play it. And my God, man, what a license to print money. Nintendo's good at that, but uh, they've shared their secret with anybody else. I just cannot think of any other example of something that has met higher success with every single release. Even the iPhone, I don't think that is true. I think there are actually models of the iPhone. I don't think we might have hit peak iPhone, the year where the most will be sold of a new model. Uh, I could be mistaken, but I think there are times where a certain model doesn't sell as many, tens of millions as the one before it. Um, so not even the world's most successful product, the iPhone, has that level of continued escalatory success. Like each iPhone has at this point not outsold the one that comes before it, but Pokemon's has. And they've managed to do that by not releasing any on their home consoles until the Switch, which is also a portable system because their home consoles are usually not very successful. So, congratulations to Nintendo and Game Freak, I guess. Was that the reason I brought it up? Maybe. I've been playing a little bit of it. It's I find the open world concept really cool. There's some interesting moments. The technical stuff is quite bad and egregious, but it is not the reason I find myself irritated most often. That is the games doesn't let you to tell it to just shut the fuck up. Which I think most people should want. Like, if there are enough 30 somethings playing Pokemon. Surely there are enough 30 somethings out there that just don't give a shit about what the irritating characters have to say. And they should just have an option that's like, cut all that garbage out. And they don't. And sometimes it's even worse than it was before. And so that's especially irritating. It gets in its own way more often than not. Pokemon. Um, Rogue Legacy, I talked about uh, two games that I want to talk about more in detail right now. I broke down uh, and finally purchased The Last of Us remake. I said I was going to wait till it was $40. I only made it till it was 50, and I bought it. Not that that's a bad thing, or I guess it's a bad thing if you like don't like the idea of limited development dollars being used to just repurpose, rehash an old game again instead of making something new. And that is a very viable take. But I uh, love The Last of Us Part 1. I think it's the greatest game ever made, straight up. But I had played it twice, once on the PlayStation 3, once on the PlayStation 4, and said, I'll wait. But the reviews were, of course, amazing because it's the best game of all time. And it's not a remaster, it is a straight up remake. Everything is rebuilt from the ground up, new assets, some new, I think it seems like some new encounter. It's largely exactly the same, but things have been tweaked. The crafting system is more like two, I think. Some of the encounters are a little different. But Naughty Dog is still just the utter complete masters of what they do. The Last of Us Part 1 is now 9 years later or whatever, still is the best video game ever made. Um, and now it looks as good as you thought it looked back in 2013, but obviously our memories are rose tinted glasses. Now it looks even better than you remembered it because it's actually playing on a PlayStation 5 and modern hardware. It looks stunning at times. And man, I don't have enough great things to say about it. I'm probably about 4 hours in, taking my sweet, sweet time with it. I have a problem with video games where anytime there's a system where you have to spend points that you accrue to get new abilities, how this goes in modern games, I tend to like to save them and spend them all at once or make it more challenging myself. I don't know why I do it. But The Last of Us, it makes it triply hard because all resources are super rare. So I will try to use as few, um, not just ability points, but uh, weapons, and I'll make it harder on myself than I need to. But I guess it's fun watching Joel get his throat ripped out. The Last of Us Part 1, uh, the game of the year of 2013, still the game of the year in 2022. I'm loving it. But if you played it before, it is practically the same thing. So, moving on. Last of Us. Done it. I'm also playing um, the brand new strategy game from the studio of XCOM and, more importantly, Civilization for Axis. They just released a really weird mashup game. Very XCOM-like strategy, tactical strategy, RPG, with a Marvel license, but like not a normal Marvel license. Now it's like all about the evil side of Marvel. So you get like Ghost Rider and all that stuff, and the so it's Marvel plus XCOM. Cool. Um, but the thing that makes it super neat is it is a like deck building game as well. You use cards. Each of your characters has like a deck of cards, and you use those cards to accomplish all the stuff you need to do in combat and out of combat. It's a super neat system. The problem is the game looks terrible. Um, it has this really bizarro. The actual combat system is so much fun. All you want to do is go around and play your Ghost Rider and Doctor Strange and Magic. I don't know who that is, but it's somebody in the game. You want to beat the hell out of people in that amazing combat system using these intricately designed cards. And this, in addition to having cards, it is also a 3D tactical plane where you can move your characters around and position them in a very XCOM like style. So you're pushing guys, knocking telephone poles over on them. It's delightful. All that's amazing. However, that's only half of the game. The other half is a very poorly controlled and rigidly designed, like quasi dating simulator, quasi, I don't know how to describe it. You're a character moving in a like third person action game around an abandoned church, talking to your allies, solving mysteries, going on dates, doing a bunch of weird stuff that isn't a lot of fun, and it looks like garbage. The character models look like from PlayStation 2 games, and it doesn't serve that amazing tactical combat system at all. That being said, I'm still having a blast with it, and I put way too much time in over this weekend because card-based RPG tactical combat systems are like crack to me. Let's finish this back. Okay, well, we're going to do ourselves a nice little small dab here. And then, unfortunately, guys, I'm going to have to wrap up our first little mini experiment of streaming out here in the living room. I think I might try again in the future, but I've got my plans coming up. So we'll do a quick dab here. Reminder, if you haven't, please feel free to join our Discord. Love to have you there. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow streaming, normal setup, sounding better, looking about the same probably. And playing some Splatoon. Hope to see you guys then. Please join our Discord if you are interested. Would love to get your help and hang out with you guys there. Before we say goodbye, we'll do ourselves this nice last little dab. And then we'll say, it has been a blast hanging out with you guys. Thanks again for being here. Happy Tuesday, and we'll see you later this week. Goodbye.